relationships. And I'm using quotes, but I want to get into it. So what are the things that we call toxic in a relationship? There can be a lot of behaviors that aren't living up to our expectations, right? Or they're not living up to societal standards, which is also an expectation. But my angle on this, what I would like to share with you today, is it actually isn't about people's ability to live up to expectations or societal norms. The toxic debris in relationships is actually from the life force centers. As more life is coming into our being, we are awakening more and more to who we are, and we're on a mass awakening process right now worldwide. So all of our subtle psychic centers are also being flushed out as we're being flooded with new light codes, wake up information. So the debris in our chakras that correlates with the mindset we've been in, because there's always correlating consciousness to, the experience you're having. And as more life force comes into these centers, it pushes out this debris, which is lower consciousness stuff, emotions and beliefs that we need at those other levels of consciousness, those other dimensions of us, so that we can get along in that reality, just so we can interact in that reality. So as more light comes in, life force, Kundalini energy, I am presence, all of this is synonymous. As more of this comes in, we will collectively and individually, and we are right now, go through this purging process. And the purging of our lower consciousness, if you will, higher and lower, so funny terms, right? But as we purge the lower consciousness, or the previous reality, you could say, that stuff's all right now coming out for everyone. So right now, this popular word to say it's a toxic relationship, or I was in such a toxic relationship, what you're really saying is we were in the stuff. We were in our chakras stuff together. And that's actually what's supposed to happen, because relationships are alchemy and they draw stuff out of each other on purpose. Like, that's their job. So when the stuff's coming out, you're like, oh my gosh, it's doing its job. The relationship's doing its job to pull this stuff out so we can see it, love that about ourselves, integrate, grow as a person, transform in the relationship alchemy, in one another's presence, in the raw divine presence of another being with whom we're being intimate with. And it's the intimacy that is drawing this stuff out. It's the go ahead and come into me, see all of the places in me. So the relationship is pulling this stuff out of each other. And then there it is. But we say, oh yuck, I don't want any of that. That's a red flag, I'm out of here. Instead of, oh wow, look at all the toxins we've got here. Look at what's come out of you. Like, good job. Like, wow, how can I support you? Or wait, here's mine. Here are my toxins coming now. And what are we going to do with those? And so it's actually a beautiful evolution of our consciousness around relationships to see this way. And to, we cannot run away from the purge. It's happening to you too. It's happening to everybody. And so to just know that it's just this person's purge or this person's purge. Like, no one's going to be purge free. Everyone in intimacy is going to bring up the stuff. But how loving, how open-hearted, how willing are we to be in the muck with someone? Like, that's the true story of love right there. Like, the shows like to tell us it ends with, yay, we finally got together, we're so happy now forever. But we all know That's just phase one. Relationships go through these ebbs and flows and deaths and rebirths again and again to evolve themselves into a deep place of love and trust and, solid connection. But anyway, these days it seems we're treading along the top of relationships and we're just like dipping our toe in now. We're like, oh, there's wounding there. No thanks. There's wounding there. No thanks. Oh, I'm just going to go work on myself and then I'll come back and meet people. But most of that stuff we can't get to if we're not in relationship. If we're not in relationship, we aren't going to reach some of that stuff that then we're finally going to reach again in the next place. And it's the job of the relationship to bring this stuff forward. It's just how you work with it then. That's the place to maybe say, am I with the right person? Because when the stuff's out there, then can you both work with it? Are you both willing to go, yep, that's my stuff. Yep, that's your stuff. And not be judgy or mean about it, but just acknowledge, yeah, all this stuff's coming up and it's okay, I love you through that. I love you through that too. Because a lot of these are going to trigger our wounds, right? As these things are coming up, our debris, our lower level consciousness, our previous stuff. It's going to trigger like self-worth stuff. I'm like, oh my gosh, if I show this part of me, am I still worthy of love? And if someone's got like a toxic label or they're a narcissist, and I'm not saying these things, you don't have that exact experience, but what I'm also saying is it's happening because life force is clearing through the chakras and pushing out maybe familial patterns. Maybe that's a family line thing, and if you can witness it, honor it, you're helping to clear that, to break that, to love this person anyway. Besides this person having ancestral trauma, I still love you anyway. I mean, don't we want to be loved too? Like, yes, I have ancestral trauma. I still want to be loved anyway. Like, even when I throw a big tissy fit about something stupid and small, I want to still be lovable after that. I want to be lovable if I have to go into a meltdown to get through the next moment and you witness me, like, I still want to be lovable. And that's what we're all saying to each other. I want to just be able to let it all hang out and be totally me and cry or be raw or get mad and not scare people away or make people think I'm crazy or that they need space or whatever. Just like allowing us to be. And then the toxic label turns into, it's sacred. This person's journey and they're happening right now, it's sacred. And no matter how that's showing up between people, it's all sacred. It's all sacred. It is the viewpoint of it being such that I think will save us, humanity.